Chapter 17. Windows resources on a network. In this chapter, you will learn to support some client-server applications, how to share and secure files and folders on the network, how to troubleshoot network connections. In Chapter 15, you learned how to connect the network and set one up. In Chapter 16, you learn about networking hardware. This chapter focuses on using network and client-server applications, and for sharing files, folders, network users, and also learn how to troubleshoot network connections and what to do when you cannot reach resources on a network. Security always a huge concern when dealing with networks. In this chapter, you'll learn how to share resources on the network and still protect these resources from those who should not have access. In this next chapter, we'll take security to the higher level. Discuss all the many tools and techniques you can use to protect a computer or SOHO network. Supporting client-server applications. Client-server applications you will likely be expected to support include Internet Explorer, remote desktop, and other remote applications. You also need to know how to configure network settings to improve performance for client-server applications using Wake on LAN quality service techniques and group policy. All these skills are covered in this part of the chapter. Internet Explorer. By far, most popular client-server applications on the Internet are, however, and web server. At the time of writing Internet Explorer, i.e. version 9, the latest browser release by Microsoft Windows 7 with IE version 8. But you can upgrade to version 9 using Windows updates. To upgrade, open Windows updates and install the Internet Explorer 9 update. You can also go to Microsoft.com website and follow links. Download, install IE9. If you later have a problem with IE9, you can install it again. Go to Programs, Features, Windows, in the control panel. Then click Windows View Installed Updates. Select Update. See Figure 7.1. Click Uninstall. Here are some tips using Internet Explorer window. To show the menu bar, press Alt key. The main menu appears long enough for you to make one selection for one menu. If you want the menu bar to be permanent, right-click a blank area in the title bar and check Menu Bar from the shortcut menu. See Figure 17.2. Notice Figure 17.2. You can also add a command bar to the IE window. To get help using IE, press F1 to open Windows Help and Support. Alternately, you can click Help on the menu bar and click Internet Explorer Help. You can click the question mark on the command bar and click Internet Explorer Help. To access the shortcut menu from the title bar to control Internet Explorer window, figure 7.2. Some web servers use HTTP with SSL or TLS protocols, secure transmissions to and from a web server. To find out if the HTTPS is being used in IE9, look for HTTPS and a padlock in the browser with address box. Click the padlock to get the information about the site security. See Fig 7.3. Use the Internet options. The box to manage Internet Explorer settings. To open the box, click the Tools icon on the right side IF title bar and click Internet Options. Another method is to press Alt, which causes the menu bar to appear, then click Tools Internet Options. And then third method is to click Internet Options in the network and Internet group of the control panel. The Internet Options box appears. Whenever you make changes in the box, click Apply to apply these changes without closing the box. Alternatively, you can click OK to save your changes, close the box. Now, let's see to use each of the Internet Options box. General tab of the Internet Options box is shown in the left side of Figure 7.4. Figure 7.4. Use the General tab Internet Options box to delete the browsing history. Here's what you can do using a General tab. Change the home page or add a second home page. To add the second home page, insert the URL on the second line in the home page area, as shown in the left side of Figure 17.4. To protect your identity and surfing records, it's a good idea to delete all your browsing history each time you use IE on a computer that is not your own. To delete this history, click Delete in the Deleted Browsing History box. See the right side of the Figure 17.4. Notice the item on the right top. When you have these items checked, any cookies used in the websites in your favorites listed not deleted. Select the items to delete and click Delete. If you want to delete your browsing history each time you close the Internet Explorer, click Delete Browsing History on Exit on the General tab. Internet Explorer holds a cache containing previous downloaded content, and in case it is requested again. The cache is stored in several folders named temporary Internet files. To manage IE cache, click Settings under Browsing History. The temporary Internet files and History Settings box appears. Figures 17.5. This is the box to change the maximum allowed space for temporary Internet files to control location of these files. Security tab. Set the security level on the Security tab. See the left side of the Figure 17.6. Medium high is a default value which prompts before downloading content does not download Action X. Controls that are not signed by Microsoft. And ActiveX Control is a small app or add-on that can be downloaded from the website along with the web page and executed by IE to enhance the web page. For example, add an animation to the page. A virus can sometimes hide in an Action X control, but IE is designed to catch them by authenticating each X control it downloads. To customize the security settings, click Custom Level in the Security Settings box. See the right side of the figure 17.6. You can decide exactly how you want to handle the downloaded content. For example, you can disable file downloads. Privacy tab, Content tab. Use the Privacy tab, see left side of figure 17.7 to block cookies that might invade your privacy or steal your identity. You can also use tab control, the pop-up blocker, which prevents annoying pop-ups as you surf the web. To allow a pop-up from a particular website, click Settings and enter the URL of the website in the pop-up blocker settings box. See right side of figure 17.7. Some pop-ups are useful, such as when you are trying to download a file from the website and the site asks permissions to complete the download. Figure 17.7. Use the Privacy tab control pop-ups and cookies. The Content tab contains settings for parental controls. Allow content based on ratings, certificates used by websites, and how auto-complete and feeds are handled. Connections and tabs and proxy settings. The Connections and tab allows you to configure server settings to create VPN connection. Many large corporations and ISPs use proxy services to speed up the internet access. The proxy server is a computer that intercepts requests that the browser makes of a server. The proxy server submits its own IP address for requests using NAT protocols. Then, when it receives the content, it caches it and passes it on to the browser. If another browser requests the same content, the proxy server can provide the content that has cached. In addition, proxy servers sometimes act as a gateway to the internet, a firewall to protect the network and to restrict internet access by employees in order to force those employees to follow company policies. A web browser does not have to be aware that the proxy server is in use. However, one reason you might need to configure the Internet Explorer to be aware of and use proxy server is when you are on the corporate network and are having a problem connecting to a secure website, one using HTTP or SSL or another encryption protocol. The problem might be caused by Windows trying to connect using the wrong proxy server on the network. Check with your network administrator to find out if a specific proxy server should be used to manage secure website connections. If you need to configure an Internet Explorer to use a specific proxy server on the Connections tab, click LAN Settings and in the settings box, click Use Proxy Server for your LAN and enter the IP address for proxy server. See figure 17.8. If your organization uses more than one proxy server, click Advanced and enter the IP address for each type of proxy server on your network. See figure 17.9. You can also enter port address for each server. If you are trying to solve a problem of connecting a server using HTTP over SSL or other second protocol, enter the IP address of your proxy server using the Manage Secure Connections in the secure field of this box. Figure 17.8. Configure Internet Explorer using one or more proxy servers. Figure 17.9. Enter IP address of all proxy servers on your corporate network. Also, notice the Connection tab Internet options that you can create a VPN connections. To do so, click Add VPN, refer back to the left side of figure 17.8 and follow the steps of the connection wizard. Recall from chapter 15 that you can also create a VPN connection using a Network Sharing Center. Programs tab. Add-ons, also called plugins, are small apps that help the Internet Explorer display multimedia content, manage email, translate text or other actions. Programs type see figure 710 is used to manage add-ons. Figure 1710 use Programs tab manage all add-ons and the default applications of Internet services. Click to manage add-ons. To open a manage add-ons box, see left side of figure 1711. In the left pane, under show, you can display all add-ons. Currently loaded add-ons default view. Run without permission. Download controls. Click an add-on to select it and see the information about the lower pane. To disable an add-on, click disable. To enable a disable one, click enable. Download Action X controls can be uninstalled using this window. To delete the selected Action X control, click More Information in the More Information box. See the right side of figure 1711. Click Remove to see only add-ons you can delete. Select Downloaded Controls in the Show drop-down listed Manage Add-on window. You can delete other add-ons using Programs, Features, Windows in the Control panel. Advanced tab. The Advanced tab, see the left side of figure 1712. It contains several miscellaneous settings. Use Control Internet Explorer. One setting is useful when IE is giving a problem. If you suspect the problem caused by wrong settings, you can click the reset to return to IE to all default. 1712. Solve problems with Internet Explorer by resetting it is the default settings. Remote desktop. Remote desktop gives you users access to Windows desktop from anywhere on the internet. As a software developer, I find remote desktop currently useful when I work from a remote location, my home office, and need to access a corporate network to support software on the network. Using the internet, I can access a file server on these secure networks to make my software changes. Remote desktop is easy to use and relevantly safe for a corporate network to use a remote desktop computer. You want to remotely access the server most by be running a business professional editions of Windows 7 Vista XP, but the computer you're using to access it, the client can also running any versions of Windows. In this section, you'll first see the set up remote desktop for the first use, and then you will learn how to use it. Okay, applying concepts. How to set up a remote desktop for first use. A host server computer is a computer that's saving your remote desktop on client computers. To prepare your host computer, you need to configure the computer for a static IP addressing and also configure remote desktop service. Here are the steps needed. Number 1. Configure the computer for static IP addressing. How to assign a static IP address is covered in Chapter 15. If your computer is behind a firewall, configure the router for the port forwarding and allow incoming traffic on port 3389. Forward the traffic to IP address of your desktop computer. You learned how to set up the port forwarding in Chapter 15. To turn the remote desktop server on, open the system window and click Remote Settings in the left pane. The System Properties box appears with the Remote tab selected. See Figure 1713. On this window, you can control settings for remote assistance and remote desktop. For remote desktop area, click Allow connections from computers running any version remote desktop. Less secure. Figure 1713. Configure computer to run remote desktop service. Number 4. Users who have administrative privileges are allowed to use remote desktop by default, but other users need to be added. If you need to add a user, select users and follow the directions on the screen, then close all windows. Number 5. Verify that the Windows firewall is set up to allow remote desktop activity to this computer. To do that, open Network Sharing Center and click Windows Firewall. The Windows Firewall window appears. See Figure 1714. In the left pane, click Allow a program or feature through Windows Firewall. Figure 1714. Windows Firewall can block or allow activity on the network to your computer. Number 6. The Allowed Programs window appears. Scroll down to Remote Desktop and adjust the settings as needed in Figures 1715. Click OK to apply any changes. You will learn more about Windows Firewall in Chapter 18. Figures 1715. Allow remote desktop communication through Windows Firewall on your local computer. You are now ready to set remote desktop using your local network. Try to use remote desktop from another computer or somewhere on your local network. Verify you have remote desktop working on your local network before you move on to the next step, testing remote desktop connection from the internet. How to use a remote desktop. On the client computer, you can start remote desktop to remote in your host computer by using the mstsc command in the search box. Using the Start All Programs menu, follow the steps to use remote desktop. Click Start. Enter mstsc in the search box and press Enter. Automatically, you can click Start All Programs, Accessories, Remote Desktop Connections. The Remote Desktop Connections box opens. See Fig 1716. Figure 716. IP address. The remote computer can be used to connect it. XP differences. To start remote desktop in XP, click Start All Programs, Accessories, Communications, and Remote Desktop Connections. After the Service Pack 3 is applied to Windows XP, the location of Remote Desktop on Start menu might change to Start All Programs Accessories. Number 2. Enter the IP address or host name of the computer to which you want to connect. If you decide you want to use the host name, begin the host name with 2 backslashes, as in / company file server dot. Notes: to use a host name when making a remote desktop connection, to a local network to a host name IP address of what the remote computer must be entered in the host file and client computer. Number 3, if you plan to transfer files from one computer to the other, click Options and then click Local Resources tab, as shown in the left side of Figure 1717. Click More. The box on the right side of Figure 1717 appears. Check Drives, click OK, click Connect to make the connection. If the warning box appears, click Connect again. If another warning box appears, click Yes. Figure 1717. Allow drives and other devices to be shared by using the remote desktop connections. Number 4. Windows security box appears. This that is displayed by a remote computer. See figure 1718. Log on using username password for remote computer. If the warning box appears saying that remote computer might not be secure, click Yes to continue connection. Figure 1718. Enter your username password on the remote computer. Number 5. The desktop of the remote computer appears in the window, as shows in Figure 1719. When you click the windows, you can see with the remote computer just as if you were sitting in front of it, except the response time is slower. To move the files back and forth between computers, use Windows Explorer on the remote computer. Files on your local computer and on the remote computer will appear in Windows Explorer. The remote computer in the computer group, for example, in Figure 1719, you can see Drive C on each computer installed in the figure to close the connection to the remote computer. Log off the remote computer and close the desktop window. Figure 1719. The desktop of the remote computer is available on your local computer. Desktop of the remote host computer. Drive C of the remote computer. Drive C of the local client computer. Notes: even though Windows normally allows you more than one user to be logged on at the same time, this is not the case with remote desktop. When the remote desktop Windows sessions is open, all local users on the remote computer are logged off. Is your host computer as safe as it was before you set the serve up remote desktop and enable port forwarding to it? Actually, no, because port has been opened. So take this into account when you decide to use remote desktop in a project. At the end of this chapter, you'll learn how you can further steps to protect the security of your computer when using remote desktop. Alternatively, you can consider using software that does not require you to open ports. Examples of this type of software, some of which are free, are TeamViewer at www.teamviewer.com. Go to my PC by Citrix. www.gotomypc.com and log MCLL. Log MCLN. www.logmein.com. Hands-on Project 17.3. Use Remote Desktop. To use Remote Desktop, you need two network companies. The computer you will configure as the host computer must be running Windows 7 Professional or Ultimate Edition. To configure one computer to be remote desktop host, use the other computer to remote to host computer. You can view the edit files and folders on the host computer from the remote computer. Try to copy a file from your local computer to the host. Remote applications. A remote application is an application that is installed and executed on a server, and it's presented to the user working as a client computer. Windows Server includes software to manage these remote applications. Software remote desktop services include a Windows Server 2008 or later, or terminal services include the version of Windows Server prior to 2008 uses the RDP protocol. It presents the remote app and its data to the client. The remote application began to popular because of the most computer power, memory, and CPU speed. The technical support for application installations and updates and backing up data is focused on the server and centralized location, which means the client computers in the field don't require such computing power or support. So stay tuned next time when we're gonna get more into the chapter 17. So this is for part. So stay tuned for part 2. And here part 2 from CTech. Make sure you like and subscribe to CTech, CPU and Technology. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you won't miss any future episode of CTech. And thanks for watching.